Hello everybody and welcome to my video. My filming is not the best for this video, so I'm going to apologize right away because I'm filming on my phone. Recently I had some issues with the camera that faces down. The piece that holds my camera up. Oh, I have it right here. This piece, it broke and I had to get a new piece. And then in the midst of doing that, my battery crapped out on my camera and I had to order a new battery, and that's coming. So I'm filming on the craziest setup I've ever filmed on. I can't even see what I'm filming. So I'm hoping I'm in frame, and I'm just filming on my phone. So if it falls or tilts or there's some shakiness, please just have grace with me. I filmed a video for you guys earlier in the week of catching up on my Project Life family album, and it was a really weird, I just was holding the camera and I did that. So today what I want to share with you is something that I have been doing this year. I've been trying out different ways to document, and some of these I've been sharing with my membership community, particularly this one right here. I've been sharing with my membership community, and I get questions a lot about different ways that I memory keep, and I want to give you a rundown of what I do and what I'm thinking. So the first way, you guys are very familiar with my Project Life family album, and this is in my pocketed page protectors, and it's in 12 by 12. All of my family albums are in 12 by 12. I've been doing this style memory keeping since, well, my family album started in 2006 when I got married. That was before we had kids. And then I have 2 or 3 albums before that of when I wasn't married. But this is the style. You guys see this on Tuesday. I call it Project Life weekly, and I post, and keep this up to date. And this is something that's very straightforward. It doesn't change a whole lot. It just is me sliding pictures into pockets. I do some traditional pages in here every now and again. And this is the easiest way for me to keep up with my everyday memory keeping. It's these are the everyday moments that I want to remember. It's our family albums. I have a whole wall of albums. It was always my dream to just have an album for every year. I do 2 each year. And I changed to Project Life from traditional layouts, just 12 by 12 double layouts. I changed to this in 2011 because I couldn't keep up. I could not keep up with my kids' album, our family album, all the other memory keeping I wanted to do. I couldn't keep up doing traditional albums. So I found Project Life when it was fairly new. I think it had only been around about a year. In fact, I couldn't even get a core kit because there weren't any. I was waiting for Becky Higgins to release them, and she released 3 on Amazon. And I remember how hard it was to choose between those 3 when it came out. So this is my family album, and this is my most important project. I always want to be doing this. I want to keep up on it in a relatively decent amount of time. I want to complete it by the end of the year or very close to the beginning of the year, and do my next one. The next project that I keep up on a regular basis the last couple years has been my personal Project Life album. And this is something that I have exclusively shared with my membership here on YouTube. You can join at any time. You can cancel at any time. You can go back and watch past videos of me putting these together. And I do this in a 6 by 12 album. This album I got at Hobby Lobby. I got a couple of my 6 by 12 albums at Hobby Lobby. I need to change out my photo. I haven't done that yet. And then I use 6 by 12 page protectors. I either cut them down or I had a stash of them. And in this album, I exclusively use Allie Edwards' product. I use her stories by the month, and her cards. And I just did a catch up. I need to do this page here, but I just did a catch up with my membership this week. Actually, on Wednesday, I posted getting caught up in this because there was a delay in getting product from Ali Edwards. These cards that you see right here are cards that I have made, and I give, whenever I make a digital product, I always give my membership those cards for free. I just let them have those digital files. And so from May through September is not complete. And you'll see that I have catching up to do, but these are stories that are just more personal to me, that maybe, like one of the ones I can show you back here is all my Taylor Swift stuff from August, her releasing her new album and her getting engaged. And this was a text message between my daughter and I. She had texted me the day that Taylor Swift got engaged and said, you know, check your Instagram chat. You're going to be so happy. And then I was like, okay, wait, hold on. What is this real? Because I was starting to see it in our little chat. I put in here, and then some memes. And then also it's stuff like this that I see like maybe on Instagram, and I screenshot it. And like this one says, she's in that in-between space where a woman she used to be has faded, and the woman she's becoming is still taking shape. It's uncomfortable. It's lonely at times. It's the stretch of healing and the ache of growth, but it's also magical because she's finally meeting the version of herself who's ready for more. And so it's just things like that I put in here, that I tell the story more of me, of who I am and the different things that I see. And some days she's a warrior, some days she's a broken mess, most days she's a bit of both, but every day she's there, standing, fighting, trying. So that's what I use this for. It's like personal, just more personal stories. Again, I've got September doesn't have any photos because September is not done. And then I've got to go and print some photos from some past months. So those are the two projects that I mainly keep up with. And for the most part, what you see here on my channel. Now, let me bring some other things in. This is the other project that I've been sharing exclusively with. I'm trying to make sure that I'm in frame. I'll be so glad when my camera situation is fixed. So I'm sorry if it's also crooked. So this is the other thing I've been sharing exclusively with my membership. This is a scrappy spiral notebook. I got it from Hepa here on YouTube. She's my little journal on YouTube, and she has created these, and I got a couple from her. And in this one, what I've been doing is in our membership group, we do a photo challenge each month. And so I have been documenting those photo challenges in this. And then also I've just been putting some things that I just want to document. This was back in February, and I used some Ali Edwards product, and I had wanted to use these cards. And so this was a layout, and then this was a layout. And then this was documenting my issues with sleep and all of the sleep issues that I have. I have really severe sleep issues. And then driving was another prompt. This was just another layout that I did that I had wanted to document. This was another one. This was watching. This, I need a photo. What is the photo that I need? Oh, of my craft room. I need to put a photo there. I did the whole layout, but I needed a photo. A collection of pins, and some photos show up in multiple places, and I'm okay with that. When you take a photo, there's multiple stories that you can tell. This was collection, so this was our photo challenge, was collection. And then I think this photo also ended up in my personal album, and I just wanted to tell some more of a story about this pen situation I've been having. I think last August was collection, was piles. July was seasonal food. And so that's just been fun to document in this. And that's what I've been documenting in this. What I want to share with you today is this year I've been trying out different ways to document, because while I love Project Life, I love doing my family album, I love doing my personal album. They're pretty easy. You're just slipping photos in pockets. There's not really, it is creative, but it's a different kind of creativity. And I have been wanting to I've been wanting to dive in and like memory keep. And like, there's moments that I want to create, but it's like, okay, my Project Life album is caught up. Like, okay, I dropped the photos in there. I did the journaling. Like, there's nothing else to do. And so I've been wanting to use my stamps, and I've been wanting to use my paper, and I've loved doing this. This is something that I'm going to continue to do. I love the Scrappy Spiral notebook. I plan on continuing to do this and using this. I'm definitely going to have to take out some pages. I don't think that I'm going to be able to get all of the pages in here. It's getting really, really thick already, and that's okay. I definitely plan on still doing this, but I've been wanting to do a few other things. So one of the things that I did at the beginning of the year is I created this little notebook, Simple Everyday Snapshots. This was a Erin Condren notebook that I just cut down. I cut the coil down. I cut the pages down. It was a dot grid, and for my notebooks, I don't like dot grid. And so I didn't want to waste the notebook. And so I cut it down, and I thought, well, I'll just do some memory keeping in it. And so I cut it down. I cut the spiral down. It's fine. I've done that before for things. And then I created this. This is a 5x7, basically. It's like 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. And the reason I did that is because this is what inspired me. I got this card from a friend, and I was looking at it, and I was like, this would be the perfect size for a little memory book. And it's just a card that I got from a friend. And so that's why I did this. And I thought, well, that card would fit perfectly in this. And then also, when you send off to get photos printed, 5x7 is a really standard size. And so I thought, okay, that would be really easy, because I'm not great at printing all the different size photos. It's one thing about this that is a little bit difficult, is you have to size your you have to make sure you size your photos in certain ways, and that can be a little bit more difficult. I'm a simple like memory keeper. I want things to be simple. I just want to be able to print my photos and be done, and then get into the fun part. So 5x7 seemed like it would be perfect. If I wanted a really large photo, I could have a large photo. So this, I just thought, would work as a way to tell some stories or play around with different size photo if I wanted to try to do that, to try to find a way to do that. And so like this, I had my hair dyed, and the gal that does my hair did not have my color that I normally get. And so I was like, well, let's try this like purple. And I had always wanted to do that. And so I had taken some photos and did that. And then this is really simple. It's just a 5x7 photo of my husband and I. And I loved this piece here. And so that's all I did with it. And I thought it was perfect. And then here's that card, and this is blank, and I need to do something with it. And then here is something that I saw online. And I paired it with a photo of my house. I did this photo with this little caption. This was part of my stamping series. I think you can go back and see this page coming together, where I stamped in different places. And then I did this. I paired this with a photo. I printed this at 5x7. I had it printed at 5x7, and then I trimmed it down. I added these pieces and this paper and this little embellishment. And this is just a photo of where we live. It's basically my backyard. And I just loved it. I thought it was beautiful. And then I recently did this one with the flowers, with the poppies. And it was just a fun way to do some different type of documenting. And actually, I'm going to do a page in here. I have some product laid here, and I'm going to do a page at the end of this video. I'm going to do a page in here. And so that's just a fun way to do some different kind of documenting. And then I have these two items here. This is a traveler's notebook, and I recently found this and was like, oh yeah, I forgot that I was doing this. And I had done this page, and then I had done this page, which was so fun. My friend Megan had sent me a video of her and her daughter singing to me, and I snapped like screenshots and then printed them, and I did this page. I loved it. And so I have some photos in here. I have Kayla's senior, couple of her senior pictures, and then I have a couple photos of walking and a photo of Violet. And then I have like a thing I saw on Instagram, and that's in here, and I want to do those. And then the other thing that I recently did is I put this together, and it was an Erin Condren notebook. Again, it was a grid notebook. Her paper is really amazing. I love the Erin Condren paper, but I took it off the spiral, and I trimmed it down, and then I created a front and a back just with some cardboard and some paper that I had. And then I used the Happy Planner punch, and then I have these little clear rings, and I put that on there. I typically don't really like this style rings like for a notebook or a planner, but I thought for something like memory keeping wise, like this could really work. And so it's pretty thick. I added paper, and then I printed this on vellum, and it's just beautiful. I love it. It printed beautifully on vellum. And then I have all these pages. And the nice thing about this is they come out, so you don't have to work within the like notebook. It'll come out. And so this is something else that I'm going to be playing around with. And I just want to do more creative memory keeping here on my channel. And so I still am going to do Project Life weekly. You're still going to see that. And then I still have Kayla's album. I have not, I meant to dive into that over the summer, but we were just too busy, and I just never got a chance to do that. But getting her albums finished up before, now I'm certain I'm not going to have it finished before she graduates high school. But to have that finished pretty soon, I would love to do that. And so I'll still do that. But I'm going to just start posting shorter videos. I'm always like, the videos are too short, and maybe nobody wants to see this, or there's not really a reason for this. And I just am going to start posting me being creative. And that's the space that I'm in. I want to be creative. I want to use my stamps. I want to use all this product that I have. And my Project Life family album is still important to me. I just want to be able to do more. So that's what we're going to do today. I want to do these couple photos I have of Violet. I'm going to do them in this little album, and we're just going to go with it and see what I come up with. So I'm going to put you on voiceover, and we're going to get to creating. So like I said, I really like this small notebook because I can put together layouts really quick. It can just be a quick little project that I do, and I love that. I grabbed some 6x6 paper that I had. This is from Honeybee, but it's very, very old paper, and so I don't know if it's still around, but I just grabbed a couple 6x6 paper pads out, and then I picked out some paper. There's two photos of Violet here. There's one of Violet and myself, and then there's one of just Violet, and they're both from July, the end of July, beginning of August. They were from when we went to fair. The other thing I really like about this small album and then the creative journal that I put together is I'm really not looking for these to be chronological. With most of my other memory keeping, my Project Life albums and my Scrappy Spiral notebook, most of those are chronological. I'm taking and I am putting together projects and pages in order of how they happened. And with this one, this 5x7 one, and then the creative journal, I'm not looking to make that chronological. I'm just looking for a place where I can tell the stories that I want. Or if a photo comes up and I want to do something with it, I have a space to do it with. So I'm using these letter stamps from Hepa. I love several of her alpha stamps. And then I'm using some ink from Concord and Ninth. And I'm going to stamp on the bottom of this page here. I'm going to stamp Violet Boo. And that's the little nickname that we have for her. And I am first prepping the stamp. These are brand new stamps. So I'm just rubbing them on my hand to remove that film that is on them. And then I am letting the ink soak into the stamp. And I was doing a test stamp with them, but I realized I didn't really need to do that, that as long as I rubbed them on my hand and prepped them, that they would stamp really well. And then I'm going to set them aside because I want to be able to clean them, but I don't want to stop in the middle of stamping to clean them. And then when I stamped the V by the spiral, I just put the stamp on the edge of the block, so then the block was not on the ring at all, on that spiral at all. And then that worked out really well. I wish that I would have centered this a little bit better. It's not, the entire word is not centered on the page, but I thought that the letters were going to take up a little bit more space than they did. It ends up turning out totally fine, and that is part of me wanting to dive into projects like this, is the practice of all of it. When you're stamping, things are not going to be perfect, and they're not meant to be perfect. If you want something to be perfect, you can do it in a digital form. You can print out a title and print out on sticker paper and then add it to your project, and it will look really, really perfect. But when you're stamping, oftentimes things are not going to be perfect. And I struggle a little bit with this because when I was making cards, I really wanted things to be very perfect when I was making a card, because you're giving it to somebody, or you're doing a workshop, or you're teaching a class, or it just feels like a project that needs to be precise or perfect. But with memory keeping, there's a different feel for memory keeping, and I want it to look handmade. I want it to look like I was crafting and I was just having a good time. And so I'm really trying to embrace that. I pulled out these labels. These were from Allie Edwards from one of the die cut packs. I have all of my die cuts organized by style, so I just have a bunch of these word bubbles. And so I pulled out 3 of them, and I'm just going to layer them on the side of the photo right here. And then I had a strip of that pattern paper, and I had fussy cut some of the hearts out, and they were right up against the edge of the paper. And so the edge of the heart was sliced off, and so I just paired those hearts right on the edge, so it looked like it was meant to be that way. And then I will end up adding some journaling to each of those speech bubbles at the very end. And then I will add a heart right at the edge of the page where it says at the end of that boo, because it looked like there was a little bit of extra space there. And then I will also add a strip of yellow paper. You'll see in the photos, you can check the photos out on my website. I ended up feeling like there was a little bit of space right there where my finger is, like right where I was pointing right there. And so I ended up adding a heart at the end, and then like a slice of yellow paper to bring in a little bit of the yellow from the other side. I also ended up outlining all the speech bubbles with stitches, And then, like I said, I just added some hand journaling to that. So that is how that page ended up turning out. I will have more photos on my website that you can check out of the finished project. And I really hope that you enjoyed this, and it is something that I am looking forward to doing more of and just posting, even if the videos are really short. There are 2 other videos here on the screen you can check out. I would love for you to give this video a thumbs up so YouTube will be nice to me, and I appreciate you being here. I will catch you in my next video next week. Have a wonderful day, everyone.